Hello YouTube, Ian from the bedroom here with this. Do some playing, and then I'll tell you about this here fine special of mine. First time with this track. Man, what a great track. That goes out to man. I'll think about it in a minute. What was his name? Well, you just asked me. I'll dedicate it in the description. So, in any case, he had asked me about my Dirty Blues backing track, where I played Dirty and Clean, or Clean and Dirty. If I knew what that backing track was. And I downloaded it on my loop station pedal so long ago that's gone from my history, because once I download it and I play it and it sounds good, I delete it. And I tried looking for it today, and I went through about 15 or more Dirty Blues backing tracks, see if I could find it and send it to him. And I couldn't. So I came across this one and another one. The other one, the volume starts out loud and then it drops. I don't know if that was my fault. I don't know if I lowered the volume while I was recording it. But this was the one that I found, and I sent it to him in the comment where he asked me about, having the backing track for the Dirty Blues. And I was just like, man, this thing sounds so good. And I just downloaded it today. Today is Monday the 8th, the eclipse day, and I missed it. I set the reminder on my phone, and it didn't go off. I don't even know why I didn't even check it. I set it for 1:30 here in Florida that we were supposed to see whatever bit of it, and I didn't see it. I was inside. I was so bummed out. But I had gotten this. So that's why, maybe? Yeah, I think that's it. I had gotten this here, and that's what just made me forget about it. But I still have my phone with me, and there should have went off and told me. Still trying to think of his name. He leaves comments a lot, and I reply to him. And you would think I would, like Cal B and Mike, Two Bike Mike, Popper. Oh man, see, my memory is going. Popper, Birdman, Popper. And it's like a cool name. It's like a name that, not like a Tom, Dick, or Harry. It's oh man, I can't think of it. It's not coming to me. So I hate that. So this thing here came today. I had ordered this last month. I had to do an unboxing video just in case. And I'll tell you why in a minute if I remember why. So I keep on looking. It's another Epiphone that I'm looking for, a particular one. And I found a couple of them, and I missed out by a day on the one that I wanted to get because it was at the price range I don't mind spending on a used Epiphone. And because I had one that was brand new and it cost me like $5 and change, brand new Epiphone standard, 1960. That was the turquoise one. And, I don't want to, because that was selling for that much new, I don't want to spend like $450, $500 used if I don't have to. I like to be around the $250, $350 range, which is how I got a lot of my guitars for that price. So, I look all the time. I got a couple saved that I click on every day, and I'm just waiting for 90 days to pass so the price would drop. And I get a discount on it. They discounted a couple of them, but one of them was mismarked completely. And it was still, because it was mismarked as what it was, and it's not, they asked for more money. And then when it came down, I'm like, it's still too much, more than what I want to spend. So I keep on looking. I keep on looking every day to see if on the Epiphones, I just type in Epiphone on the used gear page for a Guitar Center. And I just go through the first 3 pages to see if something new popped up. And, hopefully I'll find one for the price, because I missed the one I wanted to get for $349. And so as I'm looking, right, this one comes up. I'm on the page. You can see it says Epiphone Les Paul Standard on there. And I'm going and I'm going and I'm going and going. And then all of a sudden I see that. I'm like, whoa, look at that orange red burst. It's a flame burst. So there's the back, Grover tuners, proper Grover tuners on there. This has a real rosewood fingerboard. That's the serial number on the back. If anyone could tell me what year it is, you could read it. That's the serial number. I think it's an older one because this is a real rosewood. It's not a Indian laurel. It's not a parfaro, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And you know, it's the trapezoid inlays. They have to be plastic because they're so shiny and they don't have depth to them like pearl inlays would have. But they do really almost look like they're pearl inlays, but they're too shiny to be pearl inlays, so I'm thinking that they're plastic. 22 medium jumbo, it definitely feels like nickel frets on here. And I guess your pro buckers, burst buckers, blues buckers, mother trucker, not Amazon, Epiphone pickups. No coil splitting, no tapping, which is great. You've got a flame tiger maple veneer on here. I'm sure it's a veneer because they don't really put caps on their guitars. Maybe some of the newer ones they're trying, but you know, Epiphone, what they're doing is the prices are going through the roof, and they're asking almost what you can get a Fender Standard Stratocaster for. And now what they're doing is they're copying their guitars. Epiphone is copying all their Gibson models, their 59 models, their Joe Bonamassa, this, that, and the other guitar. He's got like 5 different Epiphone guitars under his name. You got the Greenie Moore, Kirk Hammett bullcrap that Kirk Hammett shouldn't even have his name on it, and they leave Greenie Moore out completely. You know, it's not like they got to pay royalties to him because he's, you know, he's gone. And that's another thing that pisses me off about Gibson. But their prices on their Epiphones are just, and they're copying all their stuff, and it's just going through the roof. You know, $1,200, $1,400, $1,600 for an Epiphone. Don't get me wrong, I like them. I think they're good guitars. I think that, you know, I'd only buy it used, and I can only compare it to the Agile guitars. I just think that pound for pound, the Agile guitars, you get a lot more for your money. You know, you're getting a real cap on there and out of veneer. You're getting ebony fingerboards. You're getting either real mother of pearl or abalone inlays. I think the abalone inlays just look so cool. They look better than the mother of pearl. And, you know, everything else that it comes with it. Real deal Grover tuners, the whole bit. They're not pieced together like all the Epiphones. Now, mind you, this thing here is not. It's got the scarf joint for the neck is, it's right around here. It's really hard to see. It's right around there. Not joined right here at the head, which I'm glad. And I don't see a spacer where the neck goes into the body. And this is a one-piece mahogany back on here. And when I had gotten this thing, it was all scratched up. I mean, terribly. Look at it now. And it had glue stuck to the back, I guess where the stickers were. Wherever it's made, I'm sure it's made in China, like everything else. I just think it's an older version of their Epiphones. And, you know, and someone wound the strings backwards. They were going this way, going in here and around that way. And then they had like, I don't know, it felt like 56 gauge strings on here. It felt like a bass string on the low E string when I first got it. And I was like, oh, man, you gotta be kidding me. So again, in that video, I did I tuned it up and I went through the whole thing and all. And I remember the cat's name for the backing track in that video, but the video ran for like 34 minutes, so I'm not gonna post that. And again, the only thing I did was I just changed the knobs. They came with the old-fashioned, you know, I don't know what they call it, but the skinny ones that I don't like. I just think these blend better with the guitar. I think they look nicer. They make the whole guitar like look a little bit more classier than what it is. It's not shielded. The covers are not shielded, but it is painted the same color as the back. So the cavities on both are painted. You don't see raw wood, which is good, you know. And so, of course, I had to restring it. And I was like, oh man, I couldn't deal with the strings. They were, like I said, 56 gauge to 13 gauge or something. And it was like a bass string. I never saw a string wound that fat and that thick before. So I was like, well, and the thing was filthy. It was just, you know, again, Guitar Center, you can't just wipe down a guitar and ship it. I mean, really, how difficult is it? You use a thing of lemon pledge, which is all I use. It took out all the scratches. This back was covered with scratches. It just took out all the scratches. There's some there, but you know, you gotta find them in the light now. But you just, as soon as you flipped it over, you saw and you're like, wow, this said good condition. It should have said fair condition. But yeah, so that look alone is what, you know, I saw it. I'm like, oh man, that looks so good. So I waited a day, went back to Guitar Center, brought something back, had them put it on my gift card, came back on a Saturday, the last Easter weekend Saturday, and called up, asked him about it, and you know, got some guy on the phone. This was from California, just like the SG was. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, let me look for it. 15 minutes goes by. I can't find it. Give me a number. I'll call you back. He doesn't call me back. I call him back in an hour and a half. Yeah, I'm calling about this Epiphone. Oh yeah, I didn't know it was the same guy. I forgot his name. And oh yeah, I was still looking for that. Here, hold on for a minute. Let me put you on hold again. Puts me on hold for like another 10 minutes. Comes back. I still can't find it. I said, you know what? Forget about it. I hung up the phone. Sunday morning, I get up. I'm looking at the photo again because I had it saved. And I even took a picture of it on my phone and I blew it up and I'm looking at it. I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. You know, that freaking fire burst. Flame, a fire burst. And I was like, wow, that looks really cool. So, what the hell? Let me call him again. I call him again. I get another guy. Yeah, I'm calling about this, you know, this, because it says Les Paul Standard, Epiphone. It's like red and orange burst on it. And the cat that answered the phone says, yeah, I got it right here behind the counter. Guy never called me back after he found it, or did he have it the whole time and didn't want to part with it? I don't know what the story, but that's what happens, you know, with the Guitar Center. So I'm like, well, okay. Does it come in a case? No, it doesn't come in a case. That blows. You know, I'm a platinum customer. Can you do anything for the shipping? I never heard of that. Second one, the one up in Colorado and the one here in California. Never heard of it. Well, I just mentioned that the last time I bought an SG from California, and the dude was like, yeah, sure, I got you, no problem. And sent it from California to Florida. Didn't charge me shipping. So you can't do that for me? No, I can't. I wasn't going to drop the VP's name. I just said that, you know, the VP said to mention that every time, but I didn't drop his name. I dropped his name with the woman in California. In Colorado, but she didn't give a crap. So yeah. So he says, yeah, I could check. Then, you know, I text my manager. He texted me, got a reply while I was still on the phone. Yeah, he never heard of that either. I'm like, well, funny, because I get the emails, and I just got an email today, Guitar Center Platinum customer email, where they're showing me platinum gear. I get the catalogs. It's stuff that, you know, you don't normally see unless you spend a lot of money. You bought a lot of, you know, stuff from Guitar Center, which, you know, I'm guilty of. So I'm like, okay, you never heard of that. Fine, okay, just send it to me. He says, well, you know, you could always have it a piece or whatever. I could. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. So I pulled the trigger on it Easter Sunday, and here it is. That Monday, it didn't go out. It was just printed a label, and then it went out on Tuesday, and I finally got it today. And so that's what distracted me from actually seeing the eclipse. So again, I don't know how much we're going to see of it here in Florida, but in any case, you know, much to my dismay, I had to restring it. So while I was restringing it, like, okay, let's bust out the lemon pledge. I lemon pledged the whole thing. I I polished the fingers, the frets, which really looked really good anyway. I polished them with some 000 grit or 40 grit stainless steel. And then I used my staining oil and I just let it sit there and dry. And then I wiped it down and I restrung it with, DR 9 to 46, pure nickel wound. And I almost feel like once after playing the other ones, like I'm gonna bend the string. I gotta watch my bending because I don't want to either not bend it far enough or bend it too far. Because I had one of the bands I was in, one of the early bands I was in, the one guy played and we called him Van Halen because he didn't play like Van Halen. It was like, a joke on him. But he's a rhythm player, and I think I mentioned this before. And he's not a soloist. And when he came to doing solos, he was terrible. And then he would bend the string. He would always just, I guess it's that thing that, it's like a thing, like, oh, that I feel powerful because I'm bending the string. But he would bend it out of tune. It was he either went past the mark or didn't make the mark. And, the funny thing about it is that he said to all of us, and I played bass in that band, he said to all of us, he says, well, the band revolves around me because it's all about me. And after that, the drummer and the other guitar player came to me and said, hey, let's start our own band and forget him and forget the other guitar player, but can you play guitar? And that's how that whole thing started. But yeah, why did I tell that story? I have no idea. It just popped into my head. That's what happens. Oh, another thing, no sharp frets on this. As soon as I got it, I was like, oh, I have the strings off. Let me see if I have to, sand the sides of here. Epiphone. This has to, like I said, this has to be a later model with the serial number, not stamped on the back. It's got it looks like a gold decal. But it's got it feels just like a real Gibson. And I had to look for the scarf joint where the neck was glued to the headstock. And I had to look for that. I didn't see it right away. So this is like good quality. And it looks so much better now that I cleaned it up. And the fingerboard is sweet. This again has a nice thin 60s neck. And when you get to like the 7th fret, the C shape curls out. It doesn't get fat, but it just fits, in that empty part of your palm, when you cup it. It just fits perfectly. So it's not, like super flat all the way down like a Wizard neck. My 92 Les Paul Studio Light is thin all the way down, and it's just a dream to play. This is nice, but it just feels so comfortable in your hand. Almost like it's a, my mind is going, man. Asymmetrical, and you could see it. It's fatter on the top, and it's thinner on the bottom. And it feels so comfortable, not like the modern Epiphone where you feel it right away, and it takes a minute or two. You're like the first time you're playing it, and then you're like, oh, this is great. This is comfortable, just like my Epiphone Koa has the same thing, the asymmetrical neck. As soon as you grab it, man, it just feels good. Nice thin neck, and the pickups sound good. Of course, I had to set the pickups up. I had set the Targo on my angle for the sweep. Just change the knobs. No coil splitting, no tapping. I'm glad about that. It looks so freaking cool. It came without the pick guard, but it did have a pick guard. The holes are there, so I don't know if I should put one on or not because it looks better without it. But I do have one that's cream colored and I have one that's black. I was thinking on just taking one of them and just wrapping a dragon, sticker around it, or just painting it and putting it on. But I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. So, yeah, so I pulled the trigger on it, and this was like 2 and change to, I think it was like, again, around the 280 mark or something like that, from what I recall. And, I'm glad I'm glad I grabbed it. It sounds so good, and like I said, the way to go is Epiphone used, because they're copying all their Gibson stuff and they're trying to sell the new stuff with a jacked up price. But if you could find any one of these used, I would grab it. And I was like, okay, well, let me just see. I didn't want to change the strings because I know it looks cool, but until I play it and I hear it and I get the feel for it, I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. Even if I show a video, I may have it. You know, if it's something where I know right away it's got to go back the very next day, I'll do that. But sometimes I'll hold on to it, you know, for like a couple of days, you know, 5-6 days, and then I'll be playing it every day. And I'm like, does it still have that, whatever that thing was that I liked about it when I first got it, or is it gone? Is the thrill is gone, kind of thing. And that's what happened with the Epiphone SG, the old natural. That was a Epiphone custom shop. I had someone arguing with me about that, where it says custom shop right on the back of it. And I showed that in the video. It was just all neck, and the neck was, like I said, it wasn't chunky, but it was one of the fattest necks on any guitar that I've ever had. And I just couldn't get comfortable with it. You know, it was just all neck. And it would throw me off, because when I'm coming down here to the 12th fret, I know, you know, right here, when I hit that part, I know I'm right there. Like I could do it without thinking of or looking at it. With that, I'm like, I'm sliding, I'm like, oh, that's not, I should be over here, kind of thing. And yeah, it sounds foolish, but that's me, you know. So, yeah, I'm glad I pulled the trigger on this thing here. And I don't think, I forgot what I was going to get back to in the beginning of the video. So I apologize about that. But this backing track, this is the first time, second time I played to it. I played to it and I was doing stuff, and then I was like, oh, my phone's charging. I run and I grab the phone, and I come back in, and then whatever I had was gone. It was gone. I was trying to do it again, trying to have it come back. And that's why I should videotape. And my buddy says it all the time, videotape the first time you play every day, because that's your best time. That's where all the creativity is going to come out, you know, and then it'll be gone after that. And that's what happens. So, yeah, I dedicate this to the dude that asked me about the backing track. And I can see the picture, but I still can't see the name. Something, oof, something like a Douglas or William, something, you know, I don't know. I'm sorry. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll probably play this backing track again with something else. Hopefully the magic will reappear. So have a good day and a better tomorrow.